As the UEFA Women's Euro 2025 competition heats up, we're going to be talking about football in perspective today. My guest spent 21 years on the pitch, 17 with the French national team. She headed up the French Football Federation for 7 years and is now a consultant and ambassador for UEFA and a member of the FIFA Legends program. Laura Georges, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Let's start a little bit about how you got started in football and what attracted you to it.
I was pretty lucky to be raised and born in Paris and to grow up in the Park of Versailles. So I was playing with my friend, and one of the players from PSG saw me playing in the yard of the high school. And then I started playing football at 12 years old.
So it's been a long time for you, a long passion. Has it been difficult at times to pursue a career in professional football?
I've been pretty lucky. I've been supported by my parents, by my coaches. I started in PSG, and at this time, the coaches were supporting me while I was playing with the boys. But I know it was not the reality of every players. I know some players were discriminated because they were girls. They were not supported by their teammates. But football have been evolving. And so now we see more and more girls playing from a young age. So I think that's changed a lot.
Before we get into the perceptions of women's football compared to the men's league, the UEFA Women's Euro is obviously going on at the moment. The French team are doing pretty well. During their game against the Netherlands, they scored 3 goals in 6 minutes, I think it was. What do you make of their performance?
France is looking really good during this competition. There was a lot of expectation from the girls, as we saw that the captain was not called for the competition. It's a young team, but they have been performing really well. We have a new coach who is supporting the girls. We see more and more confidence in the players. They have now new members, new staff who are supporting them in order to be, to go to another level, because everybody's expecting them to be just finishing at the quarterfinals. But I see a new, we say engouement, but a fresh air in the team.
And what do you think about what you mentioned earlier, comparing women's football to men's? What do you think needs to change in this area?
I don't think we need to change, but I guess we need, I won't say I guess, for me, we need more and more support. We need more sponsors. We need leaders who believe in the game. We know for a while we've been depending on the pro league, but I think what we need is the support from the government, of course, from parents to bring their kids to play, but leaders to be convinced that they need to support the women's game.
And one thing that actually made headlines regarding the UEFA Euro competition is that match between France and the Netherlands, which one French broadcaster was supposed to show on Sunday night, but they decided to instead broadcast the FIFA Club World Cup final between PSG and Chelsea, which meant that the women's match was instead broadcast by another channel. What do you make of that? Was that surprising to you?
I would say for me, I was disappointed, because I thought as the main broadcaster, you have to support your team. But they discussed it before the competition, that they may have to change the schedule. At the end, there is an agreement with France TV. So at the end, it's about supporting the game, and I'm glad that France TV took charge to broadcast the game on national television. So.
Well, more internationally, we are seeing perhaps in certain countries a rise in the interest and support for women's football. I can think of notably the World Cup in Australia and New Zealand in 2023. I'm from Australia, and I remember at the time everyone was getting so excited about women's football, which I hadn't seen before. And figures show that after that, there was a 16% increase in participation in women's and girls football and a 27% increase in New Zealand. Do you think that that's a trend that's on the rise?
I won't say it's a trend, but I would say this is what we can expect while we organize events. And that's the goal of organizing such major events. And especially, let's say the competition is in Switzerland. No one was talking too much about women football in Switzerland, but thanks to this competition, we see that after every big competition tournament, We see the rise of young players coming to women football, government supporting the game. This is the goal of organizing such important events.
Well, there was also another example during a match with Poland. A Polish commentator said on national TV, he encouraged people to visit a website of a football campaign that aimed to get more girls involved or to create local teams. And those comments actually resulted in such a reaction that the website's server broke down. So do you think this is just a matter of advertising and spreading the word?
It is one way to advertise. This is the best promotion, not only for a country, but for the women's football. And it's true, we have seen Wales, we've seen Poland competing in their first competition. And for them, it's a massive, massive change in the way people are going to consider their sport in their country when they will be back home, to bring awareness toward women's sports, to bring more attention to the women's game. So it's always positive.
Do you think that's something that happened here in France when Paris hosted the Olympics and Paralympics?
Yes, it's been major. It's been massive, massive impact for women's sports in general. But we organized the World Cup in 2019. At the end of the competition, we have the raise of plus 20% of young players to the game, so it was great. But we know that it should not only be one event, but then there's a work to do, and so in order to continue on the momentum, still need work to be done.
Is it also about getting sports in general more involved in school curriculums and things like that, and starting people from a young age?
Definitely, so important. I think that the work that we say, organizing the event, then you have to have the support of the school to bring sport into school, to make sure that kids get involved in sport. But now I'm talking also about the new generation, but also the eldest, the mommies who need to be involved in sports. It's about the population to be active, really active in sports, and not just the young.
Is that an issue that speaks to you very personally now? And you've retired in terms of like playing football professionally, but is that something that you're continuing to pursue in your career going forward?
Exactly. I've been a General Secretary of the French Federation for 2 mandates, and one of our goals for the Federation was to spread the word of having sports for everyone, the youngest to the oldest, to the parents, to make sure that the family is going to practice sports. We know how important sport it is in life, even for the mental health, but also to make sure that people get together, that we make sure people get the environment of solidarity.
And where do we stand in the issue of equal pay? I know that was something that was talked about a lot in the United States with the women's team there. What about in France?
We haven't been talking too much about this. We're pretty lucky in France to have one of the championships, the domestic league, with paying the players in the world in women's sports. We still know that there's a gap, but this gap is still huge because there's a difference of investment in the TV broadcasters, on the merchandising, and on the fact that how much a player gets sold to another club. So there's still an economy to be made. But what is good is like we see the development of a professional league for the women's team. More and more clubs get the support from the federation, and we see more and more sponsors willing to support the women's game.
All right, Laura Georges, thank you very much for your insight and coming into France 24 today.
Merci.